Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In the previous video, we explored 4 times each day embedded within the 5 daily prayers when supplications are especially accepted. That gave us a total of 49 such moments every single day. If you haven't watched that video yet, I highly recommend doing so first. Now, we move to the next level, the times of accepted dua that are not free of cost. What do I mean by that? These are moments that demand physical sacrifice. You must endure hunger, resist sleep, or both. There are 3 such times in this category: the last third of the night, the moment of breaking the fast, and the night of Laylatul Qadr. All 3 share a common thread. Allah opens the gates of dua precisely when His servant is struggling against the desires of the body. Let us explore each one in detail. The first time of accepted dua in this category is the last third of the night, which coincides with the pre-dawn meal sahur for those who are fasting. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Allah descends every night to the lowest heaven when the last third of the night remains. And He says, who is calling upon me, that I may answer him? Who is asking of me, that I may give him? Who is seeking my forgiveness, that I may forgive him? Narrated by Al-Bukhari, no. 1145 and Muslim, no. 758. This hadith holds the status of mutawatir, the highest level of authenticity in hadith sciences. It was transmitted by so many narrators across independent chains that it is virtually impossible for them all to have agreed upon a falsehood. Notice something remarkable in this hadith. It is Allah Himself who is offering. It is not the servant seeking Allah. It is Allah who asks, is there anyone calling upon me? Is there anyone asking? Is there anyone seeking forgiveness? Imagine a king descending from his palace in the dead of night, opening his doors wide and declaring, whoever comes to me now, I will attend to personally. So when exactly is the last third of the night? The calculation is straightforward. Measure the time between Maghrib sunset and Fajr dawn. Divide it into 3 equal parts and take the final portion. For example, if Maghrib is at 6 p.m. and Fajr is at 4:30 a.m., the interval is 10.5 hours. Divided by 3, each portion is 3.5 hours. The last third begins 3.5 hours before Fajr, around 1 a.m. In Indonesia, this generally falls between approximately 1 a.m. and 2 a.m., depending on the season and geographic location. Here is what makes this especially beautiful for those who fast. This time coincides with sahur. This means that anyone who wakes up for the pre-dawn meal is already halfway to this blessed window. All it takes is a few extra minutes for tahajjud prayer and heartfelt supplication before eating. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him himself, was the finest example. He would rise during the last third of the night for tahajjud, standing so long in prayer that his feet would swell. When Asha, may Allah be pleased with her, asked why he exerted himself so greatly despite his sins already having been forgiven, he replied, shall I not then be a grateful servant? Narrated by Al-Bukhari and Muslim 15. The lesson embedded in this hadith is profound. Even the most beloved human to Allah did not neglect the last third of the night. How, then, can we, whose sins still accumulate, afford to miss it? The second time of accepted dua is the moment of breaking the fast iftar. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, 3 people whose supplications are never rejected: the fasting person until he breaks his fast, the just leader, and the supplication of the oppressed, narrated by Al-Tirmidhi, no. 3598, authenticated by Al-Albani. Another narration states, indeed, the fasting person has a supplication at the time of breaking his fast that is never rejected, narrated by Ibn Majah, no. 1753. Consider the context. This person has just completed an entire day of restraining himself from food and drink solely for the sake of Allah. His body is fatigued. His stomach is empty. His throat is parched. And at the very moment he is about to break his fast, at the peak of that day's sacrifice, Allah grants him a blank check for dua. There is profound wisdom here. Allah honors sacrifice. The greater the physical struggle a servant endures, the more distinguished the moment of dua that Allah grants in return. Yet what typically happens at iftar time? We busy ourselves choosing dishes, preparing the table, or even watching television while waiting for the adhan. When the call to prayer sounds, our attention goes straight to the food, not to supplication. The window of iftar dua is remarkably brief, just a few minutes between the adhan and the first bite. That is precisely when we should be supplicating with full sincerity. A practical suggestion: prepare your dua before the adhan sounds. When you hear the call to prayer, supplicate first with presence of heart, then eat. It need not take long. Even 2 to 3 minutes is sufficient, but the value of those 2 minutes, inestimable. The dua is not rejected. The supplication for breaking the fast taught by the Prophet is Dahaba al-damau wabtalatil uruku. Wathabata al-ajru insha'Allah. The thirst has gone, the veins have been moistened, and the reward is assured, God willing. Narrated by Abu Dawud. 2357. After reciting this, add your own personal supplications. This is your moment. And an important point to remember: the blessed time of iftar dua is not limited to Ramadan. Every time you observe a voluntary fast, on Mondays and Thursdays, on the Ayyamul Bid, the white days, or the fast of Prophet Daud, the moment of breaking that fast is equally a time of accepted dua. In other words, the more frequently you fast voluntarily, the more of these precious iftar dua windows you acquire. The third time of accepted dua is the night of Laylatul Qadr, the night of decree. This is not merely a time of accepted dua, it is the ultimate time of accepted dua. Allah dedicated an entire surah of the Quran to this single night. Allah declares, "The night of Al-Qadr is better than 1,000 months." Surah Al-Qadr, verse 328. 1,000 months is equivalent to approximately 83 years and 4 months. This means that a single night of worship during Laylatul Qadr carries more weight than an average human lifetime. A single dua on this night holds the merit of more than 30,000 ordinary nights of supplication. Isha, may Allah be pleased with her, asked the Prophet, "If I find myself in Laylatul Qadr, what should I say?" He replied, "Say, Allahumma innaka afun, tuhibul afwa, fa'fu anni, O Allah. You are the pardoner, you love to pardon. So pardon me." Narrated by Al-Tirmidhi. 3513, graded authentic. It is deeply meaningful that the dua the Prophet taught for the greatest night of the entire year is not a request for wealth, status, or worldly success, but a plea for forgiveness. Because in the face of a night as immense as this, what we need most is not additional blessings, but the cleansing of our sins. Laylatul Qadr is sought during the last 10 nights of Ramadan, particularly the odd-numbered nights, the 21st, 23rd, 25th, 27th, and 29th. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, would perform itikaf spiritual retreat during the final 10 nights. He did not merely rise for tahajjud himself, he would awaken his entire family, devoting the nights entirely to worship. Isha described, when the last 10 nights began, the Prophet would enliven his nights, wake his family, strive earnestly, and tighten his garment. Narrated by Al-Bukhari. 2024 and Muslim. 1174. Tightening his garment is an Arabic expression denoting utmost seriousness and complete devotion, abstaining from marital relations, and focusing entirely on worship. For those who are unable to perform a full itikaf, the minimum recommendation is to increase worship during the odd nights of the last 10 days of Ramadan. Perform tahajjud, recite the Quran, engage in dhikr, and above all, increase your supplications. Observe the pattern that connects all 3 of these blessed times. The last third of the night, you must rise while others sleep. Breaking the fast, you must endure hunger throughout the day. Laylatul Qadr, you must stay awake through consecutive nights. Every one of them demands physical sacrifice. There are no shortcuts, no effortless alternatives. And that is precisely what makes them so extraordinary. Allah could have placed the times of accepted dua in broad daylight, when the weather is pleasant and the stomach is full. Instead, He chose the moments when His servant is struggling, hungry, sleepy, exhausted. Because the most sincere dua is the one that flows from a hungry mouth and weary eyes. Do not let these moments pass you by, dear brothers and sisters. Especially the last third of the night. This occurs every single night, not only in Ramadan. Every night, Allah descends and asks, "Is there anyone calling upon me?" And most of us, we are asleep. If you found this video beneficial, please like, comment, and subscribe. The full-length Medium article is linked in the description. And our IDN Telegram community is waiting for you at t.me/islamdigital and Nusantara. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.